No, it was the first studio I ever really went to. Was a good friend of mine, Vitamin D in Seattle, who was kind of taught me how to make beats and a lot of things. And that was the first studio I ever went to, and that's the monitors he had. So I just thought, you know, I wanted my studio to sound like his studio because I love what his stuff sounded like.
A lot of times, studio monitors will sound, you know, we'll give you an artificial sound that sounds really, you know, it sounds really good for the studio, but it doesn't necessarily translate outside. And I think the 2020s are, you know, they really give you that true sound that sounds good everywhere.
I'm not gonna say any names, but listening to other monitors, man, it's blew me away. I can blast them and mix on them at the same time. You know what I mean? So I mean, other than them other monitors, man, I see in a lot of big studios sound just like crap compared to these 2020s. And 2020s they're the move, man.
So the one thing that I always liked about the 2020s was when you mix on them, pretty much if you can get the sound sounding good on those speakers, it'll sound good on a variety of other speakers. Like it'll sound good on the TV, it'll sound good on the car, it'll sound good in the headphones, and that's something that I need.
The original 2020s actually were my first pair of monitors that I bought, like as a professional. Like I'm gonna make some records, I'm gonna do some serious mixes, I'm gonna do everything myself. I'm gonna go spend some money on some monitors, and I don't have the money to go spend $10,000. So I went to the stores and, you know, demoed all kinds of monitors, and I ended up buying the 2020s. And I bought the 2020s because I felt them.
What I like to use the 2020s for was vocals more than anything else. I have a tendency to mix my vocals low. So the 2020s kind of checked me, you know, so if I was on another pair of speakers and I jumped to the 2020s, I could hear that some words were kind of getting dipped behind a snare drum or a kick drum. And so it gave me a nice reference as to where I need to go with my mix to put the final touches on it. So I used them as my final touch speakers.
After going through Genelecs, Tannoys, Yamahas, Mackeys, you know, the list goes on, all the hot monitors at that time, I picked the 2020s. And for no biased reason, except that I liked the way they sounded.
Oh man, I remember I was doing some cuts for Slum Village, and this was in Detroit back in the day, and they had the 2020s in the studio there, and I was just like, man, I need to get some of these.
I've used the 2020s with Dilated Peoples, Strong Arm Steady, The Alcoholics.
It was De La Soul. I did a couple of songs for them, one called Rock Cocaine Flow. That was really big. Another one called Days of Our Lives. Worked with G-Unit on a bunch of different things. Better Ask Somebody for G-Unit, Young Buck, Buck the World, Young Buck Cleanup Man, 50 Cent, All of Me, 50 Cent, Moving On Up.
With Eminem, he's amazing to work with.
There's a lot of DJs, Jazzy Jeff, Qbert, you know, what have you, Spin Bad, Craze, A-Track.
Hearing the new 2020s, I instantly can tell the stuff that I need to adjust because I hadn't heard it yet. So that really is a good monitor. A good monitor shouldn't make your stuff sound good. It shouldn't, you know, be as truthful and as transparent as possible so you can actually hear what's there. And that for me is really a whole new different world, you know, to be able to have such a definition both in the high end as well as in the low end.
2020 had been an absolutely seminal product back in the 90s. And we're still surprised today the number of artists around the world that talk to us about the 2020, that relive their memories about making those incredible pieces of music on a 2020.
Oh wow, you know, replacing the old ones with the new ones.
You know, it's what I really liked about them is they're very similar to the old ones, but they seem a little less airy, and just them being powered also brings a different dynamic to them. They kind of just seem like a futuristic version of the old ones, you know, which is basically what we want from it, you know.
We use lots of technologies from Opal, which is our flagship product, in the areas of amplification, small signal processing, equalization circuits, and protection.
I was conferring with my partner Jake One over here, and I think we agree they sound even better than the original ones.
Hey, I'm glad they're back.
There's a new funk to it. I can't put my finger on it yet. It's kind of a, you know, just an updated, you know, futuristic sound to it.
The low frequency amplifier for the 2020 can deliver up to 250 watts of peak power into the woofer. This gives you the boom. This gives you the definition in the bottom end that you're looking for.
There's more clarity, in my opinion, on the new ones. I can hear like the top of the snare and the hat. I can hear, I like to call it like the fairy dust on top, you know, the stuff on top, you know, the sizzle.
What we did to even improve the tweeter was maintain its character, maintain those characteristics that make it sound smooth, make it sound silky. And then we added modern manufacturing techniques so that every tweeter coming off our production line is absolutely the same.
I hooked my shit up so I could hear what my shit sounded like on it. And it sounded incredible, man. I want to keep hearing my shit on those speakers.
I can blast them. I need some NOx-proof speakers, you know what I'm saying? So I think these are the ones.